Big Sife.
Fat Man Scoop, Brooklyn Clan. What's up, y'all? This is Fat Man Scoop. And right now, you watching the sensei, the number one, the king, my dude, Big Brando. He taught me, personally, me, Fat Man Scoop. All you gotta do is keep your mouth closed and your ears open. Listen to the man talk. That's knowledge personified right there. And I wouldn't trust nobody else but my dude, Big Brando. And I said it. Fat Man Scoop, Big Brando. Let's go.
What's happening, everybody? Boy, Big Brando, and today let's talk about selling t-shirts out your trunk. Now, this is a hot topic for whatever reason. A lot of people ask me, they see my videos where I talk about when I used to sell stuff out of the trunk. People want to do it also. People want to know what the risk is involved. People want to know how much money I was making when doing it, if it's worth it for them to do it, how did I find the parking lots that I was posting up in, and how much inventory I was bringing. These are all valid questions. Everything is a concern for people that want to get into doing this. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys seen a lot of my old videos where I talk about doing parking lot pop-ups, and parking lot pop-ups to me was just me posting up in a parking lot, letting my social media audience know where I was at, what I was selling, and how long I'll be there. I took this idea from the food trucks. All those gourmet food trucks that used to utilize Twitter to let their audience know where they were going to be, what they were selling, how long they would be there. Same thought process that I used. I didn't invent it, I took it from them. So when the food trucks would say, hey, I'm going to be over here on this street and this street, this is what the menu is, I'll be here from this time to this time. And then I seen what it looked like when the line was down the street. So they weren't relying on foot traffic. They were relying on their social media following. This is where photos of food that were like very contrasty and oversaturated started to become very, very popular, right? Somebody had a plate of tacos, or somebody had some crazy grilled cheese with like a long cheese pull, stuff like that. Those types of images create engagement. Those types of images get good mileage for the food trucks. So all I did was adopt the same exact thing. My social media following wasn't that deep. I didn't have thousands of followers. I had barely, if that, hundreds of followers. But what I did have was a product that everybody wanted at the time. So the brand that I was running at the time had a local following. The best part was I had no online store at the time, and the only way to buy t-shirts and hats from me was catching me in a parking lot. That created the buzz in itself. So what I would do is tell my Instagram following, hey, I'm gonna be over here at this parking lot next to this Papa John's on Western and Artesia. I'll be here for the next 2 hours or until sold out. I got this size to this sizes. This is the only t-shirt that I have today. Post goes out, people start to share the post. Hey, this is the dude with the t-shirts. This is where I got the t-shirt from, or this is the guy that sells the t-shirts. He's gonna be over here, let's go check him out. Once people figured out that this is the only way that they can buy the t-shirts from me, it created its own buzz and excitement around the t-shirt. Knowing that they couldn't get it in a store or at the swap meet or online, they had to buy it from me. So when it came to inventory, I knew exactly what my clientele was. I would go very light on the smalls and mediums. I would bring them, but I wouldn't bring a lot of them. What I did bring a lot of was large, extra large, and double X. And I would go very light on the 3X. 3X was a popular size, but I always noticed that creating the small scarcity in sometimes having 3X, sometimes not having 3X, created its own buzz. So now it made the guys that wear 3X show up earlier, and while I'm setting up, they're already like, hey man, can I just get the 3X? Which ended up just helping out my sales, that's all. But in return, what I would do is I would basically sell out every single time that I was out there. Sometimes I didn't, but sometimes I would draw a big enough crowd where I would sell out of everything. And I've operated like this for months on top of months, selling one t-shirt design in one colorway, and that was it. And as I wanted to introduce new colorways or new products, I would tease the products. Maybe the week before, I would wear one of the new products. So when people came out to buy the old product, they're like, hey man, where can I get that at? Now I'm getting a better visual idea of what people wanted. There was 2 times that I would wear a new design that nobody cared about, nobody ever asked about, so I knew not to release that. All right, well, I'm not gonna release this one. I thought it was cool, but at the same exact time, I'm not my customer, you know what I mean? Now, creating this kind of scarcity and creating this kind of buzz around your brand can work in your favor, or it could actually cripple your brand. In this case, it worked in my favor. Things worked out perfect. It even got to a point where I was inviting other local brands to these same pop-ups. I locked down a section of this parking lot on Western and Artesia. There's an In-N-Out there now, but prior to that, there used to be a Burger King that was closed down. So I had this big open parking lot that didn't affect any of the businesses because I'm not relying on foot traffic. Remember that. I'm only relying on my social media following. That's it. So I'm not taking away patrons from the surrounding businesses. There's a Albertsons there. There's a Papa John's. There's a Starbucks in the corner. There's a few other things sprinkled inside of this little shopping center, but I'm way in the back of the parking lot, up against the street, not bothering nobody. I used to drive a Honda Pilot at the time. I would pop the trunk on the Pilot, have those flip down containers in the back of the Pilot, and I would just sell my t-shirts and hats just like that. But once again, I'm not relying on foot traffic. I'm relying on my social media following. In this case, everything worked out. I had a t-shirt design that everybody wanted. I created the scarcity and the excitement around that t-shirt design, knowing that they had to find me to buy the shirt from me. There was no easy way around it. You had to come out and buy it from my trunk. So that created the small fire. So when I would post a flyer saying, hey, I'm gonna be here at this parking lot, I would switch up the parking lots every now and then, but the time and day and location sometimes changed. So once I posted the flyer, people would share it like crazy. Hey, this is the dude with the shirt, or they'll be tagging them in my comments. This is where I got the shirt. This is the guy with the shirts. Let's go check them out. No confusion. $15 t-shirts. These are the shirts that I'm bringing with me. There was no confusion. This is the same thing that the food trucks did. This is my menu. This is how much everything is. So there's no confusion. People come, cash, boom. They're coming to buy the shirts. Remember, I stole this idea from the food truck guys. I just made it work in my favor. The best part, and the thing I wish I would have did earlier than what I actually did, was start inviting more local brands. Because now we're all sharing everybody's following, right? So I would have guys from different brands come out and post up, pop their trunks too. So now those other brands are saying, hey, I'm gonna be over here with these brands. I'm saying I'm gonna be over here with these brands. And now it's turning into a little mini marketplace with people with the trunks popped open selling merch. So you could park on one side and just walk down and see all the shirts and merch and everything that people have to offer all the way to the end of the parking lot. I wish I would have did that earlier. But at the same exact time, some of the people that I was inviting, they were a little hesitant on doing it too. They're like, man, I don't know if I want to be posted up in a parking lot selling t-shirts. Or I don't know if my audience would come out to an event like this. So a lot of people had different reservations, and I get it, because this tactic, it worked for me. Selling in a parking lot worked for me. Does it work like that for every brand that I do? No, this one right here worked because I had a local interest in my t-shirt already, based on the city I was living in, based on the t-shirt design. And if ever you wanted more clarification on me doing this, or you wanted to see how it worked, you can always look up Gardena Originals on Instagram and scroll to the very, very bottom. I have nothing to do with that brand anymore. I've sold it long time ago, and they're still functional. But if you wanted to see how I was doing things, look up Gardena Originals on Instagram and scroll to the bottom. You could see my old flyers. You could see me selling out of the trunk. You could see how everything worked. You could see how I was running that page and that brand off of one t-shirt design. That's if you needed clarification. If you don't care about it, so be it. You don't even got to look into it. Like I said, I don't run that page no more, so I'm not even affiliated with that brand anymore. But I'm just letting you know, this is how I used to run things and how I used to do things. For the people that were thinking about doing it, do not rely on foot traffic. A lot of people are like, oh, should I post up at the mall parking lot and sell stuff? Or should I post up at the swap meet parking lot and try to sell stuff? Selling music and selling t-shirts are two different things. People hear like Too Short talking about he used to sell tapes out of his trunk, so people think, all right, I gotta sell stuff out of the trunk. People hear Master P doing that kind of stuff. It's different. Now it's a lot different, especially with social media. So if you're going out and you're solely trying to rely on foot traffic from the surrounding area or surrounding businesses, it's going to be a hard sell. If I'm trying to go to the grocery store, if I'm trying to go to Ralph's or Albertsons, my mind isn't on buying t-shirts in a parking lot. Same exact thing goes for like the Girl Scouts when they sell cookies outside of the market, right? You're going there to buy beer. You're not even thinking about buying cookies. And you see them, you might like Girl Scout cookies, but you're not in the mood to buy them. You know what I mean? Same goes for your t-shirts. If I'm already thinking about, I need to go in here and buy some ribs, or I need to buy chicken that I could barbecue, or whatever it is, the last thing on my mind is out here buying t-shirts. So in order for these parking lot pop-ups to work, you really have to rely on your social media following. Are they that down to come out and support you wherever you're at? Because if you're just relying on foot traffic, it's gonna be a hard sell. Think of it like the food trucks. Food trucks post up. A lot of times we drive by and we see food trucks on the side of the road. If we're not hungry, we're not gonna stop to eat at that food truck. Sometimes even if we are hungry, we don't know if we're gonna take the gamble on testing out that food truck. You know what I mean? So that food truck really relies on their social media following, catering to the customers that already tried their food. The marketing idea is the same. It's interchangeable. Product's different, but the idea is the same. Get what I'm saying? So if you're thinking about posting up in a parking lot, selling out of your trunk, taking on this same exact tactic that I used, go for it. Test it out. Let me know how it goes for you. But remember, keep in mind that you're not just relying on the foot traffic that's going to be around that parking lot where you're popping up at. And also, I got to put this in there, but operate at your own risk. Security comes and kicks you out. You can't be like, well, Big Brando told me, he did it in the parking lot. I'm trying to do it too. Security doesn't care about that. Police don't care about that. You have to operate at your own risk. Some of these parking lots, not as friendly as the parking lots that I did. So do your research and find out what parking lots don't have security roaming around. Post up somewhere where you're not going to be affecting anybody else's business, all right? Hopefully this helps you out. If you got any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments. And like I said, if you wanted to see how I was running those things and doing those things, Gardena Originals is the Instagram. Just scroll to the very bottom. It's been years since I've been affiliated with that brand, so everything that you've seen is like deep down at the bottom of that page. All right, follow me on my Instagram, Big Brando TV. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.